Welcome. Let's talk about learning and memory formation today. Learning is the acquisition of knowledge or skills through study or experience. We learn things every day from the stimuli we are exposed to. Memory is the faculty by which the mind processes, stores, and remembers information. So, is every stimuli we are exposed to processed and stored in our brain? No. Not everything we are exposed to gets stored in our long-term memory. Familiarity with the stimuli is a key factor in determining whether objects in short-term memory get encoded and stored into our long-term memory. So, this also plays a significant role in our preference formation of products and brands. In fast-moving media environments in which motivation and opportunity are low, memory will emerge as an important determinant of consumer belief. Let's have a bit of background so we can understand how memory works. The multi-memory model shows how stimulus information is converted from short-term memory into long-term memory. To begin with, attention is needed for the brain to register the stimulus. With repetition and elaboration, this information can be transported from short-term memory into long-term memory, where it is able to be retrieved when needed. According to the article, Low Involvement Learning, Memory Without Evaluation by Scott Hawkins and Stephen Hodge, consumers are aware of around only 15% of the daily promotional activity that they are exposed to. This means 15% of advertisements we are exposed to gets processed by short-term memory. Thus, a large amount of promotional activity is processed with minimal levels of involvement. As such, what consumers do decide to process and pay attention to plays a large role in determining product and brand preference. This idea is epitomised by the study results of Hoyer and Brown, which conclude that consumers who are aware of the name of one brand in a product category will repeatedly choose that brand even if it has lower quality or is more expensive than other brands. This is a form of brand loyalty. This result can often be found in customers loyal to Apple products. Once the customer makes the decision to purchase and test the Apple iPod, they would have found positive attributes which contribute to the brand image of Apple. Regardless of the high price of Apple products, customers are likely to repeatedly choose Apple over Samsung due to the brand image and position they have in the market. The key takeaway here is that consumers often make quick decisions with little or no cognitive elaboration. In situations of low consumer involvement, memory of product information or evaluation is a key determinant in buying decisions. Hawkins and Hoch also explore the impact of repetition and familiarity on consumer preference and memory. Increased exposure leads to an increase in attitudes and opinions towards the product. However, excessive repetition leads to an eventual decrease into a negative attitude towards the product. Have you ever experienced this when listening to a song on the radio? At first, when a new song comes onto the radio, you don't mind listening to it, and as it comes on more frequently, you come to liking it, and eventually, as the song becomes overplayed, you feel like telling the radio host, please stop playing this song, and resort to changing the radio station. The article further explores low involvement learning, which occurs when consumers are exposed to marketing communications without explicitly intending to evaluate the message. They articulate how, with continued repetition of the message, the consumer comes to believe the claim that is being made in the message. This idea leads to belief and preference formation, which is known as the truth effect. So, let's see if this has ever happened to you. A common advertisement consumers are exposed to are the Kleenex toilet paper ads. The brand often brings to mind a Labrador puppy and a product position of softer toilet paper. Have you ever questioned whether Kleenex has the softest toilet paper? Or is it just something you know because of your exposure to the advertisement? The idea here is that repetition increases the validity of our judgments of these statements, simply because we hear them so frequently. The key takeaway here is that statements that we recognise increase our perception of their validity. If we take a quick look at the summary of this presentation, you now know that repetition and familiarity play an integral role in consumer preference formation. The more familiar you are with a product, the more likely you are to purchase it. Consumers often make quick decisions in low involvement situations based on their memory of product information or recognition. Repeated exposure to advertisements may increase your memory of the brand, but it also may decrease your attitude of it if you have been exposed to this advertisement in excess. And hearing the same statements over and over again will increase the likelihood of you taking the statement as true, as familiarity serves as a key cue to validity.